We'll start off laying down on your back. With your legs out straight and your hands over your head. We're just gonna reach like left hand up, left foot away from you, and then right hand up, right foot away from you. So it's kind of like you're pushing out from the heel of your hand and the heel of your foot, and you're creating a little tilt with your pelvis going up and down like that. So just kind of bringing in some awareness into your lower core and stretching out your abdominal wall. And then bringing both knees into your chest. Give a little rock from side to side, massaging the muscles of your lower back into the floor. And then planting your heels down on the mat so they're pretty close to your bum. Put your hands across your chest or behind your head. We're going to do 25 crunches straight up and down. So just trying to bring your head and shoulder blades up off the mat 25 times. Maintain a little space between your chest and your chin, and holding at the top of each one just for a beat, just so you know that your core is working. One, two, 3, 4, 25. Once you finish that 25, you're going to raise your right arm over your head, straighten out your left foot along the floor. You're going to do 15 hand to foot crunches. So coming up, reaching for the toe, coming on back slow. Fifteen, 14, 15. Once you finish your set, switch sides. Do the same thing on the other. If your neck starts to get stressed out, you can always cradle your head in your hand as we go for 15 on the other side. $14 and $15. Cool. From here, we're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee, and you can either leave your left foot on the floor or raise your left foot up off the mat. We're going to bring your left hand behind your head and crunch with a twist to try to bring your elbow to your knee 15 times on each side. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh. Once you finish those, switch sides. Right hand behind your head and crunching up with a twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whew, those are good. Okay, bringing your hands underneath your bum. We're going to do a set of 25 leg lifts. So straighten out your legs, raise them till they're just shy from above your hips, and then lowering your heels down just above the floor. When you get to the bottom, so you can straighten out your legs a little bit more. Because at the bottom where you kind of work. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Cool. Once you're done with those, if you have a pillow or a yoga block or anything nearby you, you can squeeze it in between your knees if you want to. If not, we're just going to focus on keeping your knees in line with your hips. And we're going to do a set of 20 hip raises. So pressing your hands and heels into the floor, raising your hips high up to the ceiling, so you're squeezing from your butt and your hamstrings, and then lowering slowly back down. So 20 of these, it's like 1 second up, and then about 2 seconds down. Eighteen, 19, and 20. Cool. Bringing your feet together with your big toes touching. You're going to drop your knees out to either side. Just stop for a moment to loosen up your hip flexors. Then we're going to take one hand on top of the other like you're diving into a swimming pool. And we're going to crunch up, driving your hands up the center, coming up as high as you can, and then lowering back slowly. We're going to do 20 of these. So coming up strong, and then lowering back slow. So your hands can create a little bit of momentum, and then your abs control the descent. Fifteen, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Those are good. Okay, so bringing both knees together with your heels and your knees right next to each other. We're going to drop them both over to one side. So your legs are kind of stacked up and your hips are rotated all the way over. You're going to bring both hands behind your head. And if your knees are on the left, we're going to try and crunch your left shoulder blade up off the floor. So you're shortening the distance between your right ribs and your hips. We're going to do this 15 times on each side. 6. Think about giving a strong squeeze at the top. 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Once you finish your set of 15, you can drop both knees over to the other side. We'll do the same thing. So if knees are over to the right, you're trying to crunch your right shoulder blade up off the floor. 13, 14, 15. Cool. So bring your hands under your bum again. We're going to prepare for a vertical hip raise. So both legs are straight up in the air, and you're trying to keep your legs in a narrow window of pretty much just above your hips. So we're going to kick your butt up off the floor and then try and lower it down slowly. So we're going to go for 15 of these. So we're going to like kicking your feet up and then trying to slow it down. And it's like brick hard. So it's the action of trying to slow it down and not the actual slowing it down that makes the exercise count. I don't know if that makes sense. Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, those are good. All right, so we'll come all the way up to balancing on your tailbone. And we're going to do a set of Russian twists. So Russian twists can be done with heels either on the floor, and this is like a Russian twist, or you can float your feet up off the mat. We're going to try and keep your back as straight as possible. Pretend like you're holding onto a ball. We're going to twist the ball to one side and then over to the other side. Total of 20 times. 2, 3, 10, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. Excelente. Oh, now you're going to make your way onto your hands and knees. So with your fingertips spread wide, and you can kind of like check yourself out in the screen, and you can either have kind of hump back like that or a sway back like that. But we're going to try and find a nice neutral spine. And then keeping your belly button tucked in. So you know my shirt's hanging down, but I'm like drawing my belly button in towards my spine here. So my core is super engaged. You're going to reach your right arm out, left foot back behind you, as tall as you can. Take in a deep breath. And then on the exhale, connect elbow to knee. And then inhale to extend. We're going to do 5 of these. There's 2. There's 3. All the while keeping that core strong. 4. And there's 5. Lengthen out and then finish on all 4s. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, just kind of taking a moment to adjust your spine. Shoulders are strong, core is engaged. Reaching left arm out in front of you, right foot out behind you. Taking a deep breath and then connecting elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale to connect. Inhale to extend. Exhale to connect. Inhale to extend. Exhale to connect. Let's do one more for good measure. Back on all 4s. Super duper. Great. We're going to come into a downward dog and go for an alternate toe touch. So in the downward dog position, we're going to reach right hand to touch your left ankle, and then left hand to touch your right ankle. We're going to go for a set of 20 of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Cool. Once you're all done with those, we're going to come to resting on your side, on your forearm, and we're going to do a set of rib breaks. So taking your time to come into it and keeping the shoulder really strong so you're not collapsing in the shoulder, but this is engaged. We're going to come up and hold a side plank, and then your hand is like a rake. You're going to reach that hand underneath you, try and rake all the little bits, and then come all the way up with your hand over your shoulder. Do this 10 times. 2, 3, Once you finish your 10, just do the same thing on the other side. Just taking a moment to pause, make sure that shoulder is strong, and then coming into the rib breaks. Cool. Once you're all done with those, we'll come onto your butt with your hands posting behind you. We're going to do a set of 20 crab kicks. So butt comes up off the floor, and then reaching opposite toe. 20 times. Oops. 20. Cool. Once you're done with those, you can come to laying down on your back. We're going to do a set of 5 butterflies. So butterflies where you kind of open up your legs and your arms. You take in a deep breath, and then exhale, floating up into boat. And then you come out of it the same way you came into it. So lowering all the way back down. So going for 5, going at your own pace. Just making sure that you're breathing with the movement. Great. Once you're all done with those, make your way onto your belly. All right, we're going to go for a set of 5 Superman to cactus arms. So we do this pretty much every time, and I found that this one has been, based off of feedback from people who take the class, and just my own personal experience, has been awesome for strengthening my lower back and keeping away back pain that sometimes happened when I overtrain. So arms are out in front of you. Flying up like Superman. Exhale and draw your elbows down by your sides. Sink your shoulders down away from your ears. Fly back out, and then lower back down soft. Okay, so going for 5, going at your own pace. And once you're all done with those, we're going to come into a 4-arm plank. Even though you only got 2 arms, we'll only rest on 4. So we're going to hold for 60 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. So pushing out through the heels of your feet and the crown of your head. And then as you inhale, you kind of lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, draw your belly button towards your spine and up to your heart. See if you can observe yourself. If your hips are rising up towards the ceiling, drop them down so you're level with the floor. We got 25 seconds to go. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way down. So that isometric contraction is really good for your whole transverse abdominis, right? It's good for your back, it's good for your obliques, it's good for all the stabilizers inside. The next one that we're going to do kind of targets your psoas anterior a little bit more. And that's a muscle that kind of links into the front part of your pelvis from your back. And it's great for hip stabilization. So we're going to lay on your back. And creating a tabletop with your shins, we're going to press your palms into your thighs and your thighs into your palms. So you're creating this really strong pressure on either side. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds, starting right now. And you can let your head relax and rest on the floor so long as you're really doing that good strong push. You can feel it, like your lower back starts to press into the floor as you engage that muscle group. Okay, we got 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, cool. So straightening out your legs and your arms over your head. We kind of find ourselves how we started. And again, just reaching like one hand up, pushing your heel away, reaching the other hand up. So your pelvis kind of is rocking. One hip gets higher than the other. Bringing both knees into your chest. Give a little rock side to side. So you can massage any muscles in the lower back that feel kind of sore on the floor. Roll over onto your side and push yourself up into a sitting position. So from here, we're just going to finish with a little bit of trunk rotation and lat and oblique stretches. So we're inhaling, reaching both hands up towards the ceiling. We're going to turn your heart to the right side and then bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind your lower back. Inhale into a straight spine and then exhale to twist to look over your right shoulder. And we'll hold this for 3 breaths. When we're ready, coming back to center, bringing both hands up to the sky. And then twisting to the left side. Bring your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind your lower back. Inhale into a straight spine. And then exhale to twist to look over your left shoulder. One more breath. Coming back up towards center. And then the lat stretch. So we'll drop one hand down by the side and then bending at the elbow, reaching that top arm over. And kind of like, if your left hand is reaching over your head, we're trying to anchor that left bum cheek down towards the ground and your left knee down towards the ground. So you're really kind of getting that stretch from your hip flexor, through your obliques, through your lats, and through your shoulder. Whenever you're ready to come up, we're going to push off the floor, come back to center, and then drop down on the other side. So doing that same deal, bending at the elbow, and extending that top arm over you as you kind of anchor that right hip down towards the ground. And then seeing what happens when you inhale deeply and exhale completely. Whenever you're ready to come up, pushing off the floor to come back to center, and then glitter, happy fingers, balls of joy, all coming down to the ground. That's it. Nice work. Friday core.